stop and watch this.
Hey, Senator, why is it important for you to be out here today?
We need a voice against racism. We need many voices against racism and against brutality. We need to stand up and say that Black Lives Matter.
Yeah, that's Mitt Romney. You know, the guy that was going against Obama in 2012. They got Mitt Romney out there supporting Black Lives Matter. I like it.
No. No, 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 no. Black teenager found dead by hanging outside Texas school. This is now the sixth hanging. In how many days? Wait, you're gonna love this. You're gonna absolutely love this shit. Look at this. You can pause to read that. Yeah. I call fucking bullshit on that shit. That doesn't have nearly enough comments on it. Or they're deleting the comments as they go along. Well, guess what? Guess what I found? Since they so conveniently put the report up. I found contact information. In red, the red thing that I circled is the contact information for this. Number one, we want that footage now. And number two, there is no such thing as coincidence. Not when there's 6 bodies hanging from trees. Footage now.
Has slavery ever been illegal in the United States? Short answer, no. Long answer, the 13th Amendment, aka the abolishment of slavery, states that slavery or involuntary servitude is illegal in the United States, unless it's a punishment for crime. This means that after all the slaves were freed, white America was in fear of the economy collapsing without all the free labor, so they decided to start arresting black people for petty crimes such as loitering, fitting the vague description of a criminal, and even homelessness. This was the start of mass incarceration, and why black people make up a little over 13% of the US population, but over 70% of the US prison population, because America has never been able to be economically stable without benefiting from free labor and slavery. Thank you.
After the remaining 57 members of the Buffalo Emergency Response Team resigned from their post because their 2 squad members were being suspended for assaulting a 75-year-old man, there was a Black Lives Matter protest downtown. Guess what happened? Over 1,000 people showed up for this protest, and it went past curfew. And guess what? Since the response team wasn't there to harass them, everything was fine. There was no violence, there was no destroyed property, everyone peacefully protested, and then went home. It's almost as if the police were the ones initiating the violence in the first place. Strange.
Random black people facts you didn't know. Black kids in the USA are taught from a very, very, very young age to fear the police. If you're the parent of a black child, then you've had that talk with your kids about how to act when the police are around. If you notice, whenever you hang around a group of black people and a cop car comes by, we all get hella nervous, even though we didn't do anything. And yet, despite the fact that fearing the police is literally part of our culture, we still manage to have the highest incarceration rate in the US. And yet, at the same time, more white people are killed by the police than black people. With this particular ethnic group, they're taught to respect the police, but not necessarily fear the police in the same way us black people do. That, and obviously there's more white people in the US than there are black people. This brings me to the question of the day. How is it that the ethnic group that is taught to fear the police being locked up more than the ethnic group that isn't being taught? Maybe it's because more white people are killed by the police. Or maybe it's systematic racism!
Y'all know the beef between light skin and dark skin was started by racist ass white people, right? Because I see, unfortunately, a lot of people saying if you are light skinned, you don't really count as black. You don't understand the struggle. Like, just because light-skinned folk were allowed to work in the house during slavery does not mean they were not still slaves. Like, yes, in media depictions they were presented as more beautiful, but they were also presented as sexual objects. Solely. Just as a person does not pick their race, they do not pick which shade of color they come out as. And the fact that some people have taken the bait and have fallen for this manipulative mindset to divide the community drives me absolutely wild. You are spitting the rhetoric of racists. You have fallen for their manipulation tactics and are now trying to divide instead of combine. To a racist, it doesn't matter what shade you are. What matters is you are not their race, and they ain't gonna see you as human.